All right, everyone. So I'm going to quickly show you how you can embed Quizizz into your Schoology page. So what you want to do first is you want to go to Quizizz. Okay, so go into your library, and then hopefully you already have a quiz that you designed. So I'm going to use this one right here, the sample quiz. So I'm going to click on it, and here's the quiz. It's only, it's a fake quiz. One question, two answer choices. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use it for an asynchronous lesson. Okay, so I'm going to assign it as homework. Here you get the options of when you want to make a deadline. So you can leave that. If you wanted to leave it as no deadline, unfortunately, that's a paid feature. But if you do have the paid feature, then that kind of gives you an advantage. Okay, so at this point, let's say our due date was tomorrow. I'm going to hit continue.
Does that make sense?
And then the next step is to click right here on share a link. Okay, so I'm going to click that. And now we're going to copy the link. Okay, so it just copied this URL right here. So now I'm going to come back to Schoology. And let's say I wanted the quiz right up here at the very top of our timeline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover till I get the green line. I'm going to click on it. And depending how you want it, embed it. So what I'm going to do is it's just practice. So I'm going to embed it as a page. Of course, you can embed it as an assignment if you wanted to, but I'm going to do it as a page for now. Okay, so I click that.
So my thought is this
scroll to the top, and then I'm going to say this is. Okay, so then the next step, these are the really important ones. Okay, so from here, to embed a page, we have to do a little bit of HTML. So on the right, when I hover, I see these two little dots, right? But when I hover on the white one at the bottom, it says switch to HTML. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on it. So now I'm in this window. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert what's called a tag. Okay, it's HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So the tag is open bracket or like a less than symbol, and I'm going to type in iframe. Okay, so iframe is just the like a little television, like a little viewer of the quiz. Okay, so iframe. The next thing I'm going to enter is SRC, so that stands for source. Okay, so the source of the iframe, an equal sign. And then I'm going to open parentheses. And then now I'm going to paste the link. I'm going to close parentheses. And then I'm going to do a greater than symbol. Okay, so again, looking at the big important part. So this less than and this greater than symbol. So this is called a tag. Okay, so one opens it and one closes the tag. iframe is telling it in HTML that we want a little viewer, okay, like a movie viewer. And then SRC is telling it the source, okay, the source that is going to be in the little movie viewer. So the source equals, and then we insert the URL, and the URL has to be in parentheses, okay? So that's our little code. And then we can add properties in here also, but we're going to keep it simple. And so at this point, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to click now. So let me scroll back up. I'm going to click on the top dot, okay, to switch it back to visual. Okay, and so now we get this yellow window. So the yellow window is how big the viewer is going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because I want the kids to have more space to see the quiz. So I just tap on it one time. Okay, so when I click on it one time, the yellow box turns blue. So from here, I can hover over the bottom right dot, and then I'll just drag it with my left, holding down my left button on my mouse. And that's a pretty good size, I think. Right there's a good size. And that is it. So now I'm just going to click once out here in the white. I can see my cursor blinking. If you wanted to insert like directions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my left arrow. And so now the cursor is over here. So I can actually hit enter. And what it's going to do is going to drop down the box, and then I could insert instructions. Please take this quiz. Okay. If you accidentally close the quiz, just refresh the
exactly.
page. Okay, so I'll tell you what that means right here, this last one. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to scroll down. The next step is to display on new page. So I'm going to click that once so that way that ABC icon turns on. Okay, and what that does is it lets our page be viewable on our timeline. So now I'm going to create it, give it a couple of seconds.
The course is tied to the number, not the teacher.
And so here's our quiz. So by viewing it online, the kids can see it here in the page. It's not just closed like a link. And then the other thing is, I just wanted to check to make sure the size is okay. So if I was to hit start, here's our quiz, and yeah, it looks big enough. So here's the question, here's the answer choices.
Whereas in this case, it's coming from a student's.
It's pretty loud in my ears. Okay, so let me turn it down.
Which, even if it's
okay, so we're done with the quiz.
Whether you or I need to say that to
okay, I got it right that time.
Make sure you open the share
settings. And that is it, because it was just one question.
The share settings, but that's a pretty easy fix.
Okay, so now this, when I had put in the instructions, this right here, if you accidentally close the quiz, just refresh the page. So what that means is the kids up here, if they click on the X, that's, they close the quiz. So then what they would need is the code and all that stuff to join it. But all they have to do is refresh the page. And since we had embedded the URL, it just comes back to the beginning of the quiz. Okay, so that's how you embed a quiz from Quizizz. And
technically, I don't know.
Good luck. If this one is too small, you can come back to the gear, edit, and then as soon as that yellow window pops up, just click on it one time, and then you could resize it, make it a little bit bigger if you wanted to do that. Hit Save Changes, and then yeah, I think that's as big as it goes.
No, yeah, and I understand.
Yeah, it doesn't get any bigger because it doesn't move. The width doesn't move anymore. It's just the height at this point. Anyways, that's how you could embed a quiz from Quizizz.
I don't know if you've seen it.